Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the WendellElAminJamesShow. I am the host of the show. I've been going for a while, a little under 3 months. I've been going. I've taken on some more ventures in my life. I've gone back to work for Tesla Motors in Fremont, California. Since then, I've opened up transitional houses in Fairfield, cleaning sober houses in Fairfield, named Metamorphosis, multicultural metamorphosis, to be exact. And we're up and running, and we're doing pretty good, and things are coming along well. So this is what I'm doing, making progress. And I was on the air last year, and I came on asking people to assist me in opening up transition houses because they're much needed. People coming home from incarceration, and they're much needed in people coming back to their community. As we know, people are homeless in the Bay Area, and it's at its all-time peak, all-time high. And people from prison or county jail facilities are coming home, and they have nowhere to go after serving their time in prison or in the county jail. And we want to be able to supply for them a clean environment, a support system after incarceration, somewhere where they can come to and be in a mindset where they can transcend back into their community of commitment. And this is what I've done in the past, I say, 8 months. I opened up a clean and sober house, transition house for formerly incarcerated. And my goal is to have 10 houses. You know, right now I am just starting, but my goal is to have 10 houses, and it can be done, and I plan to do it. I was incarcerated for a long period of time. I experienced the coming home after incarceration to a support system. A lot of people can't come home and fall into a support system as I did. You know, a lot of people come home and don't have support. You know, they don't have no family support. They have no support. And they come home and it's a failure for them because they have no one to assist them in their transition or metamorphosis back into their community, so to speak. So this is what we're doing. We're supplying the needs that they need to be able to go down and get California ID, you know, to be able to go and apply for a job and have the proper identification to apply for a job, because you need ID to apply for a job. We're applying to them for them to be able to go down and get medical treatment, SSI or mental health or whatever they need in their counties, and we're supplying a safe environment for them, a safe house. You know, so I'm trying to make it possible to have a smooth transition back into your community and have a way that you can come back and make a difference in your community. You know, going into a system, into incarceration, you know, you go into an environment where everything is foreign, everything is made, everything is designed for you to go in and do your time. And a lot of people go into a prison system or a county jail, and they're confused because they're going into an environment where there is straight structured to where they're being told what to do, how to do. They cook their food for them, and they wash their clothes for them, and they do everything for them, and they become institutionalized. Well, our environment is to, when you come from a prison or the county jail, is to come into a home, to a house where it's designed for you to do the transformation, do the change back into your community. Washer and dryer, bedrooms, kitchen, cook your own food, wash your own clothes, be able to do the things that you need to have a safe return back to your community. And that's what I'm supplying for formerly incarcerated. I've been blessed to be able to go back to work at Tesla. You know, I was there last year when they had the big layoff. I was part of that. And I've been called back to Tesla to work. Great thing. This is why I feel comfortable right now. And I'm trying to assist a young man there. You know, right now I'm assisting a young man that's as an addiction, and I'm assisting him to get away from that and live life on a natural high. So I'm assisting this young man right now to get away from the drugs that he's on, and I'm doing a pretty good job at it. He's complying. He's complying to what he needs to do to have a natural high waking up in the morning instead of waking up to have to put something in his body to make it go that day. So he's doing pretty good. So far, I've been working with him for a few months, and he's really doing great. I'm really proud of him. So my work isn't over. My work is far from being over, and I'm constantly working. I'm trying to make a difference in people's life, and so I've been allowed to come back into society, and I've been given the instructions to do something that's meaningful in life for people, for other people, other than myself, and that's what I've come back to do. So. Like I say, life for me today is great. I'm living life on the terms that been given me, and the terms that's been given me are good. So I have no complaints right now. I'm loving every day that I live because I'm making a difference in people's lives. I'm making a difference in my life because I know that in helping someone, I'm helping myself. I know in helping someone, it gives me a path, it gives me a direction to go in life and do things in life and make a difference in life. We have a period of time that we're here on this earth. And I've gotten to the age now where I have less time than I have more time left. And I know that I have to make a difference while I'm here. We got to make a good slate while we're here because we're going to leave here. We just lost a great woman, Miss Essie Webb Jones. We just left her. We just lost her last week at 102. And I admire this woman. I love this woman. Every time that I would see this woman, I've known her over 50 years, and every time I would see this woman, I tell her I love her. She said, "I love you more. I love you more." I remember that. I wake up in the morning and I think about it because she was my neighbor for a lot of years. I remember her when she used to leave in the morning, going to her do's and don'ts and the whereabouts, and she used to leave walking. She used to walk everywhere. She walked there and she walked back, and she was in her right frame of mind. She was in good health, until last year when she caught the flu, and it took a toll on her, and we lost her, This year we lost her last Tuesday, and they're having her funeral on the 7th, and her interment will be on the 8th at Dugan's. So she's a great woman to me. I love her dearly. She'll be truly missed by me. She'll be truly missed. So we have to enjoy the things we have while we're here, because life is not guaranteed for any of us. We're here today and gone today. So while we're here, we got to make a difference in somebody's life. We got to do something that makes a difference in somebody's life. I try to help people because, somebody helped me. I went into a system, and I did a life sentence. I was a lifer. I went into the system, and I served 27 years and 9 months in prison for a crime I didn't commit. But I went into the system, and I got everything that I needed to come home and be successful, because I knew one day, I didn't know when exactly the date I was going to get out of prison, but I knew one day I was going to be released. And I knew that when I come home from incarceration, I had to come home different from what I was when I went into the system. I knew that. So I went to school, and I got everything that I needed out of school. And every time I would go to school and get in school, they'd take me out of school and put me back on a work assignment. I went into PIA. I went into the shoe factory when I was in Pelican Bay. I went into a workplace. They didn't want me in school. So what I did while I was incarcerated, knowing that they didn't want me in school, every time I went to school to get what I needed to better myself, or to give myself the necessary things to be successful in life. What I did, as they took me out, I said, okay, I gave up. And I was in the shoe factory in Pelican Bay. And I went to school, and they took me out, and I went to the canteen, and I bought a dictionary. And I started going through the dictionary, because at that time that I was incarcerated, I didn't know how to read or write. I went to prison when I was 35 years of age. And going into prison, I had a bad speech impediment. I couldn't talk well. I had to start over in speech for a person to understand what I was saying. And I didn't know how to read nor write. You know, I didn't learn how to read and write, or I didn't correct my speech impediment until I was in prison. And I was 36 years of age when I started learning how to read or write. I spelled my name wrong for 35 years. I spelled Wendell instead of Wendell. My name is Wendell, the correct way of spelling, Wendell. But I spelled Wendell for 35 years. 36 years, I started spelling Wendell instead of Wendell. I was in Pelican Bay State Prison, and I had a school teacher named Miss Heiser. And Miss Heiser, going into her class, she gave me a newspaper one day and told me to, sit here, and I got some other things to do, and read the paper, and I'll be back shortly. And she left to do what she had to do in the classroom. She came back, and I had the paper in my hand. She said, "What do you think? What was in the newspaper that you liked?" Until I couldn't read. I couldn't read it. And she was shocked. She was stung that she had a man before her that the age I was, and I couldn't read nor write. Plus, I had a bad speech impediment. Couldn't talk too well. And Ms. Heiser took time with me after learning that I was real serious about I didn't know how to read nor write, and I wanted to learn. She was real serious about helping me, and she went in a cabinet in the classroom, came back to the desk, and she had a box. And she took the top off the box, and she took out two headsets. Those headsets were part of Hooked on Phonics work. And she took time for a couple of days before they took me out of class, and she taught me my verbs and my nouns on Hooked on Phonics, how to pronounce my verbs and my nouns. And they took me out of school and put me back in shoe factory. And they did that 3 times over a period of months of me trying to get back in school. And the 3rd time they did it, I gave up getting back in school, and I went and got a dictionary. And I went through the entire dictionary and learned every word in the dictionary, how to pronounce the word, how to spell the word, how to read each word and know what it meant. And that's how I became what they call autodidactic, self-taught. I learned how to read and write, slowed down on my speech, and learned how to talk. And I became understandable in my language. So I went and I got a high school diploma. I got a GED, and I'm doing a lot of things in life now. I know how to write proposals. I got a 501c in the state of California. Got transitional housing, clean and sober houses in California. I work for Tesla, and I'm doing pretty good. God has been good to me since I've been home from incarceration. So what I'm doing now is I'm passing my baton on to the next individual, because we got a lot of people that's coming home from prison that's really wanting to be part of this world out here. And we want to assist them in any way that we can to help them be part of this world instead of going back. They say within 3 years, a person that comes home from prison, they go back. And I want to break that. I want to break that cycle, because it can be broke. And we're breaking it at large numbers right now. I know a lot of people that has come home since 2015. And they're home and they're being successful. They're doing something that's meaningful in life. And they're helping in their communities and making a difference. This is why we have the WendellElAminJamesShow. I'm back. This is my first day back in the last almost 3 months now. And I want to make a difference. I want to come back on the show. I want to bring the returned citizens back on the show and allow them to tell their story on what happened to them, what changed their life while they was incarcerated, what changed their life to make a difference in what they were doing in prison, to go in front of a board of prison interns to convince them that they were suitable to come home. And now that they're home, we want to be able to show society that they are back in their communities, and they're going to be part of the community. They're not going anywhere, and they're going to build a community where they should be. Our communities right now are in trouble. We have people that was raised in San Francisco, was raised in different neighborhoods, and they're being shoved out. They're being shoved out of San Francisco, and they say once you leave San Francisco, you can't come back because the property is too high. You can't even buy. Matter of fact, you can't even rent in San Francisco because the rent is so high. So people are being shoved out of San Francisco that born here in San Francisco. They're being shoved out. And right now, it's really a shame. You can go in some of these neighborhoods, and those people that grew up in these neighborhoods, they're no longer there. Very few are still in the neighborhoods. So we want to make it to where we can make a difference and allow these people that's still here, that haven't been shoved out, to be part of their community, be a voice in their community, be able to make a difference and tell people at these community meetings, at these town hall meetings, what their home means to them, and make a difference. So this is why the WendellElAminJamesShow Show exists. We want to come in and we want to be able to show people and tell people that being part of this city, San Francisco, this is a beautiful city. I was born and raised there. I remember we used to leave our house in the mornings on Saturdays and Sundays, the days off of school, and we used to get on our bikes and ride down the Fisherman's Wharf. We used to have our crab nets and go down the Fisherman's Wharf and throw our crab nets off on the pier and go and do what we had to do in that day, go down to the wharf and sing, get on the corner and then put the buckets down there and put money in the buckets and do whatever they did to that shows that they appreciate what we were doing. And come back in the evening, get our crab nets and go home, to our families and live good in our neighborhoods. Well, the youngsters, they can't do that anymore. They can't get on their bikes and go down to Fisher's Wharf and throw crab nets in off the pier and do what they do in the period of the day. They can't do that no more. They can't be children. They can't be kids in the neighborhoods anymore because they're shoving us out. So this is why I do the work that I do. I've been here and I've done that. I'm part of that cloth. I'm part of that cloth that's trying to make a difference in our community, trying to give back to our communities and help those that's suffering from a disease that they don't believe they have. I know they have because I was once there. So we're trying to make a difference and showing the interests of our community. So I want to welcome the viewers to watch our show. We come on every Saturday night at 7 o'clock on Channel 29, the WendellElAminJamesShow Show. If you can't see the show on 29, I put a show on YouTube. Every time I interview somebody, every time I do a show, I put it on YouTube immediately. That way you can go on YouTube, type in the WendellElAminJamesShow Show. My interviews will come up. You can look at my interviews, and you can tell me what you think. We're trying to make a difference. We're making a difference in people's life. So next week I'll be on the show. God willing, I'm going to bring a guest on and allow them to elaborate on what they're doing in life. What the sentence was, what they did to go to prison, what changed their life while they were in prison, and what they're doing now. So this is what I'm going to do next week. Bring on a guest and allow them to come on and talk about what they're doing. So I appreciate your time that you've turned on the television or turned on the YouTube and listen to what I have to say, because I'm just trying to sit in, where my Almighty instructed me to be and to change somebody's life, because one little thing that I say can make a difference in somebody's life. Hopefully it will. And we can start doing positive things in life to make a difference in people's life. So I appreciate everything that people do in life to assist the people that's suffering from a disease or less fortunate than them, and give them a smile, a gesture. Just give them a handshake. Just give them something that's meaningful. You know, and you know, I come in my city that I grew up in, and I'm here. I'm part of San Francisco. I'm a native. I'm not going anywhere. But I ride around and I see people that's homeless. You know, I see people that should be in hospitals, you know, but they're on the street. I see people walking around with no shoes on their feet. I see these tents. You know, I see people that just out there, you know. And it's for San Francisco, it's really beholds me. I don't understand it. This is one of the richest cities there is. And we have this many homeless people in San Francisco. I can't understand it. You know, I guess I never will understand it because, you know, I'm not homeless. I guess I'm on a paycheck for being homeless though, but I'm not homeless. You know, thank God that I am not, but I can be homeless. I could be homeless. Very well can be. You know, so it bothers me when I see a person that walks around in the rain and the cold night, and they can't stay still. They got to constantly move, because if they stay still, something might happen to them. It might be in more danger, you know, being still than moving. So they're constantly moving, you know, trying to survive, trying to stay alive. You know, so we, I don't know, you know, life is really full of changes and mysteries and different things. And we have to enjoy the time that we have. We really do. We got to appreciate what God has given us, the time, the space, you know, the mindset, you know. We have all our faculties in order, you know, all our limbs are mobile, and we have a gift that was given us. And we have to enjoy the gift that was given us and make a difference in life and help the people that's less fortunate, you know. So that's what we do. That's what multicultural metamorphosis is about. That's what the Clean and Sober House, transition house that I've opened is about. Is trying to help the people that's come home from incarceration have a smooth transition back in their community. So that's what I do. WendellElAminJames is the director and founder of Multicultural Metamorphosis. And, you know, if you have somebody that's coming home from incarceration and I can be of some assistance, you know, call me. Call Multicultural Metamorphosis, you know, and see if we can help. Somebody that's incarcerated, they need some help, you know, call me. You know, see if I can draft a letter to assist them, the acceptance letter for them coming home to my house. And like I say, I want 10 houses, and I very well can open 10 houses because they're in demand. People need somewhere to go once they come home. So we're working. We're working to put it together, and it's going to work just like that. It can work. It will work. You know, in my program, I tell people coming in my house, failure is not an option. Failure, we don't even put failure in our vocabulary. Failure is not an option. To come home from incarceration, to come into the house, it's their house, your house. You know, you got a house where you got to take care. You got to make sure the carpet is welcome. You got to make sure the bathrooms are clean. You got to make sure the front lawn, the backyard, everything in the house is taken care of because it's your house. When you leave there, we want you to leave there with some money to be able to go and get your apartment, go back to your family, or however you're going to leave there. We want you to go and be successful leaving. You know, we leave the door open because you might need to come back for whatever reason it is. You know, we leave the door open for you to come back once you completed our program and be part of the success stories that we're going to tell in the future. You know, so like I say, failure is not an option. We're going to make it work for everybody to come to multicultural metamorphosis. We're going to make it work. You know, so if you have a way home from incarceration, come see us. Call us. Call me so I can interview you. Call me so I can talk to you and find out where you are. And when I'm going to tell you this, when you come to me, don't come to me with that jive, with that drag. You know, I've been there, done that. I can read it. I studied people for 27 years and 9 months. I know people. So don't come in with drag and then that stuff. Because if you do, I'm going to shut you down and let you go somewhere else because somebody else needs that bed that want to be there, that want to be successful. So that's what it's about with Multicultural Metamorphosis, the WendellElAminJamesShow. We're making progress. We're making strides forward to make sure that you have a smooth transition. You know, and it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. So this evening, we want to thank you for watching the show. You know, I'm glad to be back on the screen. And again, thank you for watching the show. And tune in every week. You know, like I said, if you can't get it on Channel 29, go on YouTube and watch the WendellElAminJamesShow and tell me what you think of it. Give me some constructive criticism so I can better the program and be successful in helping those ones that's coming home from incarceration, you know, returned citizens that's coming home. So we want to thank you, and we want to bid you a good evening, and keep on doing what you're doing because you're making a difference in somebody's life. Thank you, and have a good evening.